All right, so week three just got over and it was quite a disaster. So, as you all know, they recently made a change where for both TW as well as Grand Arena, once you press the join button, all your mods are taken, a snapshot of them is taken, and you're not able to make any changes later on. We do have the option in TW to leave and rejoin again if you've made any changes to the mods, but there's no such option yet in Grand Arena. So I got pretty screwed because I changed my mods for a variety of reasons. I mean, GOTV was going on at the time, so my mods were all over the place for that. I just completed a raid the day before, so a few mod changes over there as well. And in general, almost every day I move my mods around for ships. So my pilots get some 6C mods that I pulled from some other characters. So my mods were in a pretty bad shape, and there's just no recovering from that. So just because of one misclick, which is pretty easy to happen because I entered in thinking that I was still in the review period, and since the review period just lasts for an hour, I accidentally ended up joining. And I'm sure this is something which might have happened to a few of you, so you might have had the same issue as well. But essentially, my mods were screwed up for a whole week, and let me show you exactly what looked like. So some of my really key characters had absolutely no mods at all. For Anakin and Spirit, I moved these mods around to my pilots, and as you can see over here, they had zero mods on them. And Asajj as well had most of her mods missing. So my Anakin was almost useless in any team at all. And my sisters also, I couldn't put them on defense. They would just be taken out too easily because the two fastest sisters are both Spirit and Asajj. And once you don't have any mods on them, they're pretty easy to take out. Similarly, I had mods missing on my nest, and my really fast nest now dropped to a more manageable level. I had a speed mod missing on Malik, which made him really slow, and I had a circle missing on CLS, which made him squishy and did not complete his set as well. So my CLS scoundrel team as well as my Sith Empire team were also compromised. In addition, my Jedi also had a few missing. I mean, my Jolie had a health set missing, which is 16% loss right there, plus another 10% from the set. So that's a 26% less health on my Jolie. Um, Incomplete sets on Obi-Wan and L3 as well. My Padme team, Galactic Republic, was completely screwed. There was sets missing over there, which took an impact on speed as well as overall health. So that made them less squishy, more squishy. And then some key characters that I usually keep on defense, like bounty hunters, for example. Django had a had a speed arrow missing, and Bosk had a protection 19 speed cross missing as well. So that Bosk immediately dropped to a more manageable level from 300 levels to around 270, 280, and that's something that's extremely easy for bounty hunt for troopers to handle. So that was a pretty sad situation as well. So I couldn't keep my bounty hunters on defense as well. Stark, he was missing a speed arrow for about 20, I believe. So that basically killed my troopers on offense as well, because before, when they used to be able to handle uh, a bounty hunter team of up to 295 to 300, now they can only handle a much slower bounty hunter team. Um, and my Wampa was missing his critical damage set, critical damage triangle, and offense as well, 16%, 8.5% offense on the square. So he was hitting for so much lower than what I was used to. Instead of hitting for 120k on offense, he was hitting for 20, 30k. So I felt like I was playing somebody else's roster, and my characters weren't hitting as hard as they should, and they weren't going in the right turn order that they should. You can see over here my Geos were completely screwed. Boggle had absolutely zero mods, and the others also were missing all sorts of mods on them. So this counter also wasn't as effective. And then obviously my pilots had all 6E mods, but that was completely useless because now Biston, instead of hitting for 4K, he's going to hit for 6K. This was this was a total disaster in terms of my offense and defense. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you the matches and the results for all 3 days. So I lost two and I won one. Um, in all three cases, my opponents weren't able to clear me and I wasn't able to clear them. I'll briefly give you the defense and offense status of all three matches, and then I won't show the commentary for all of them. What I'll do is, because it's really not interesting seeing the videos where the mods are not there. It's not going to teach you anything much, but I will showcase maybe a few battles that I found interesting, and then just ignore the rest because there's really nothing much to take away from this week, apart from the fact that CG should get its act together and start fixing these issues as soon as possible. This mod lock issue, because it's a good idea to take a snapshot, but they really need a way for us to leave and join back in, because one small misclick and your whole week is ruined essentially. So it's really not ideal. Anyway, I did get a chance to test a few things out, and most of them were unsuccessful because my mods just weren't there. So that's why you'll see multiple battles on quite a few teams out there. But let me go ahead, and what I'll do is I will pick out 3 or 4 battles from the week and showcase them. Just give some commentary on them, and and hopefully that'll be a little more useful for you guys rather than just giving video of the rest of the battles. So let's shake off this week, and then get ready for next week once the lock period is over for this week. All right, so let me go ahead and showcase a few interesting battles that I was able to record over the last week. So for the very first battle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase a Padme counter to General Skywalker. So two of my opponents had General Skywalker, one of them didn't. Um, so this is my first opponent who had Skywalker. I took in Padme with Barris and Shakti. Now this is a 5-star General Skywalker with all the Zetas and pretty decently modded clones. Um, but uh, but yeah, with Shakti and Barris in there, it really wasn't going to do much. And at this point of time, only Anakin and GK were relicked up. So I really didn't think these guys were going to do anything much, especially with half the mods missing on Shakti. I think she was only like 20k health or something like that, and all the mods missing on Anakin, so he just wasn't hitting hard enough. So this was I wasn't expecting this to be a one shot in any by any means. Um, but I wanted to see if my cleanup team that I showcased last week of Newt and Dooku would still be able to work. So as you can see over here, these guys are not making any damage at all. They're not even building up enough courage to do anything, and and I'm having a tough time even getting these guys to go into cover the Skywalker. So I finally see over here his Anakin's AoE is only doing 22 when he's used to doing about 50-60k easily. So here you can see I'm trying to take down as many as I can, but there's just no courage built up, and I haven't got anyone down. And here I've got a few stacks on Shakti, so I decided to go after Rex and at least make the cleanup easier, because I know it's not going to be a one shot. And if I kill Rex, then um, if I kill Rex, then the 5 sacrifices himself, and the next match is going to be slightly easier. So that was my goal with this team, the Padme team. Yeah, so this takes care of them. And now I decide to go in with my cleanup squad to see if the new cleanup squad is able to clean up a relatively intact Skywalker team. So I taken my standard new team, which is the core of that team is going to be Newt, and in the lead position, and it's going to be Dooku. There's Watt, who's needed for that team as well, and I kept in Droidica and Scatterable Pathfinder as my tank over here. And as you can see over here, even though the team is preloaded, Watt is going to go first. I give the taunting tech to Scatterable Pathfinder to enable him to take the brunt of the damage initially. He's not going to revive even though he has a buff because of General Skywalker's unique. But he did the job, which is take the brunt of the initial damage. And then I go to work with these guys. So Dooku does his job of stunning um, one character, and then I start spreading some extortion around over here. Get shield on Droidica so that he can start assisting anytime these guys make a move. And then I start working on them. So Rex is obviously a big danger because you don't uh, want him to get his annihilate off. So I'm already working to get rid of him. Now both my Watt as well as my Dooku were missing a couple of mods each, but this thing still seems to be working fine for now. If it was a 7-star General Skywalker, Watt would have died definitely, but so far he seems to be holding up. There you go. Anytime Dooku is hit, I given him the med pack. And anytime he's hit, he counters, and that means that Skywalker gets stunned and ability blocked, and with a special, hopefully um, shocked as well. So doing okay so far, and now I'm just trying to get Skywalker under cover as soon as I can. So he's able to take out Watt finally, but I'm able to get him under cover. And now I work on Echo because his AoEs can be pretty damaging. And you can see over here again the anti-Galactic Republic's skills of Dooku really come in handy with all the stuns and shocks and the ability blocks. So I basically just prevent the team from growing just because Dooku is in there, doing a decently good job. And now I've taken out all the characters, and because his secondary was able to land a stun on General Skywalker, he did not end up going once he came out of cover. So that's an interesting thing I learned, that if you have Skywalker stunned when he's just about to come out of cover, he's not going to take that bonus turn, which didn't actually make sense because bonus turn means even well, actually that's right. Bonus turn can be prevented if the target is fractured or feared, and I guess in this case stunned as well. So that's why he didn't have a bonus turn when he came out. And now you can see the rest of my separatists are having a really easy job cleaning up the Skywalker once he's gone. So not a bad team. Was able to clean up a relatively intact Skywalker. Now this is the second Skywalker that I faced, also 5-star, with decently modded clones. So I decided to take in my CLS counter against it, and my OB and CLS are both missing mods, and I think a couple of them um, on C3PO as well. But this is a pretty reliable counter to Skywalker. At least even if my character is not relicked up and missing some mods, I felt fairly confident taking this against a 5-star General Skywalker. Um, and of course, this one is a little bit easier because they had Shark T in there for some reason as the fifth, instead of Ahsoka. So they didn't get the 50% damage bonus that you get for full 501st, and you don't have General Skywalker. Um, you don't have General Skywalker countering as much um, at all actually because it's not a full 501st team. So I wouldn't recommend going with with one character missing from the 501st faction just because it becomes that much easier to take out. So here you can see I got rid of fives and I've got Echo shocked and taken out Echo and now Rex as well. And now it's just a question of cleaning up Skywalker. And you can see over here it's really not much of an issue because he's not countering at all. So really not a good idea to go in with without a full 501st squad, but it was a relatively easy cleanup over here. The other battle I wanted to showcase was just my Padme team against a Newt squad that I faced. And again, this Padme team is not moderate at all, but was able to go in and take out a relatively tougher Newt squad with Django in there and a pre-taunter. So that's one good thing about Padme is they've got tons of survivability. The protection up is really something which can be quite effective, and a team like this which relies tons on debuffs. Django applies debuffs. Dooku obviously applies tons of it as well. Padme lead is a relatively hard counter on that. So Anakin, even though he's not able to do damage, he's at least able to do stuff like clear stealth from everyone. And now I'm trying to take out Dooku first since he counters a lot and creates issues. And then I was just waiting for Django to come out of damage immunity, and once he did that, I I basically started stunning him and taking care of him. The next worst character over here is I think I'm going to be working on. I think I just try to take out Baze since he has a dispel as well, and we don't want people to be dispelling against Galactic Republic. So yeah, so the basic was able to take care of him. My GK is about to die with extortion, so I think I decide to take out Newt. And first time he was taken out. Now let's just make sure he's taken out a second time as well. Django is almost out. I dispel the shield on Droidica so that it doesn't assist anymore. And then this one should hopefully take out everyone. Yep, it does. So R7 Anakin, even without mods, can do a decent job. Obviously not the same, but can do decently. So the next battle I'll show you is a cleanup squad for a General Grievous team. So I had a few battles on this Grievous before, and I had these three characters remaining behind, and I didn't have any meta teams left to take them out. So in this instance, I took my Dooku squad with the Sarge and Newt in there as a backup to try to take at least the other characters down. Because a solo Grievous is a relatively easier cleanup, but you do need to take out the assisting characters there. And for B1, you need characters who can do multi attacks like troopers or someone who can counter like Dooku in this case. And as long as Grievous is fractured, the other guys can be taken out pretty easily without any issue. So that's what I'm trying to do over here, spread some extortion and get them below 100% health so that all the debuffs land, which is why I went with Dooku lead. But as you can see over here, I was able to take out B1 pretty easily and B2 also now, but and now I only have Grievous left to do a cleanup. And I've taken my standard, I've used a standard Grievous cleanup team that I have, which is Jin with Biston and Savage in there. Now my I had my Night Sister Spirit over here as well, since she had zero mods, but she does have a good she does have a she does fit in pretty well in terms of a cleanup squad like this, because she removes turn meter on a basic. So for if for whatever reason you're not using Night Sister Spirit in any of your other defense or offensive strategies, you can always use her in a Grievous cleanup squad because of her turn meter removal on basic, which is pretty reliable. All right, the next showcase I think is going to be just the Geos, and I took my Geos with Count Dooku in here against a bounty hunter team. I was hoping that all the AoEs that the bounty hunters have, my Dooku might be able to go and apply some stuns. He was able to do it, but he did die pretty easily, and he was ability blocked, so he couldn't hide himself. So that was unfortunate. So this was again, my Geos had lost all mods, so it wasn't really a good battle. I lost two of my characters pretty early, but Geos do hit reasonably hard even without mods, and I was able to get. I was trying to get Bosk down quickly before they get the contract off. But as you can see over here, they managed to get the contract off, so I have to now kill Bosk twice. And they're doing tons of damage, but I'm trying to see if I can take out Nest in one shot, but didn't have enough damage over there to do that job. But I was able to take out Bosk, and now I'm trying to work on the others. I think I went for Boba next. And Boba was able to be taken out. Um, and now I'm just going to be working on one of the others, maybe Dengar or yeah, Django, I think, because he's the other. I think this particular Django was pretty fast and decently modded, even though he wasn't relict. But I wanted to get rid of that. I think Nest was the main danger. She was R5, I think, in this battle, or R3, I think. Um, but so she was doing all the damage, and and all the thermals from Dengar weren't helping as well. So this team was taken out, but I did manage to uh, take a few characters down. So cleanup should be relatively simpler. Okay, so now you can see we are not able to make any other progress. So I go in now and take out and clean this up using a bounty hunter squad. So, and my bounty hunters, I the speed order was all wrong, but boss lead is actually pretty decent for a cleanup to end with full protection, full health on everyone. Just because even though they don't go first, they do manage to recover tons of health and protection. So that worked out pretty well in this case. Um, they're a pretty decent counter against Nest, just because they have healing immunity, they've got stuns, um, and they've got a couple of different ways of applying thermals as well. So a decently a decently easy way to clean up a Nest team. So here you can see I've got some thermals on them. I'm trying to take out Django first, since he's the most dangerous character here. So he's gone, and now I just try to keep Dengar around, but try to see if I can't get Nest's health down a little bit more. Here I go for a stun, manage to land the stun, and I'm just waiting for a big hit to take out Nest. Apply some more thermals. Apply healing immunity, so that now Nest is not going to be able to heal up on her hits. So Dengar is gone, so now we just have a lone Nest. Unfortunately, the bounty hunters don't have any days, so we're not going to be able to days Nest, but they do have plenty of ways to deliver big hits to Nest, so that shouldn't be an issue. Um, Sam's basic is great for popping thermals, provided there's um, not much protection up on nest. In this case, I'm just loading up on thermals and just waiting for the right time to come. I'm going to save the big execute for now, and uh, and once she's out, I use the thermals. Would use the basic to pop the thermals. So that was a cleanup of that team. Um, Now this is something else I tried. I thought my General Skywalker. This is my one of my opponents who did not have Skywalker, so I kept mine on offense. So thought I'll try to see if Skywalker is able to solo a Night Sister team. And the answer to that is a pretty big no, especially if you don't have Ahsoka in there to cleanse him and dispel some of his taunt and heal him up. So that was a failed experiment, but I thought it was interesting to just showcase it, just because we are trying new stuff in this GA week. And then this is just I think this is just the final battle I'm going to showcase. Is just a cleanup of a Grievous with the Jedi Knight Revan team. Um, I finally did manage to, for this week, relic up my Jolie and Grandmaster Yoda. I think I did it last week itself, and I've been having more success with with the GG counter just because of that. Because as you can see over here, the rest of my team ended up dying pretty easily to an R7 General Grievous, but Jolie ended up surviving and ended up reviving everyone, and that gave me bought me a little more time to get a little more damage in and get a few more characters out. So even though it was a semi decent team, there's no Bastilla. I've got Ezra um, and Juhani in there. But even then, having a highly relict Yoda to deliver those damages and also a highly relict Jolie to survive. I think in this case, my Jolie was, even without the mods, he was at around 60 to 70k health at relic level 5. So having Jolie survive is just absolutely essential in a counter like this. So I've now marked Grievous. I'm just on my way to finishing him off. The only damage dealers on this team are actually is actually Yoda. That's it. The others are all G12, so they're not going to be hitting as hard. But we are able to do enough damage to get Grievous down. And all of these characters have assists, so they're all able to call Grandmaster Yoda to come in and do a decent job. So wasn't able to get a chance to revive Johanni, but this team ended up doing a decent enough job in this cleanup. Okay, so that's it for the last match. So pretty disappointing week for me. Really wish that CG would go ahead and fix that, so that these mistakes don't happen in the future. But it did teach me a lesson because my whole week was destroyed. I went ahead and made sure that everything was absolutely in place before I pressed the join button for the fourth week. But it seems like a simple enough solution to allow us to leave Grand Arena. But for whatever reason, CG hasn't implemented it. But as you can see, those two losses that I took in that week, in week three, it dropped me down from a top 150 rank all the way down to 4,300. Um, Ranking up is really not much of an issue, and I should be able to get Kyber pretty easily, even if I win only two matches in the last week because of the loser restrictions this time on Kyber. It should be pretty possible for me to make Kyber. I just have what 7,000, 8,000 points left to go. So not worried about that. Just disappointed that this week was a waste, but I've got everything in place for my final week now. Locked all my mods and got all my characters relicked up the way that I want to, and I think I've got a good plan for the fourth week. So tune in for the final week in a week's time. I'll upload the final battles for week 4, and hopefully you guys will get a more interesting video than the one that you got today. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do about these issues, but yeah, that was the end of the disappointing week. So I will go ahead and end the video now, and I will catch you guys in a week's time when we have the fourth and final week of this season. Until then, I will catch you later. Take care and game responsibly.